Hi friends, in our time together today, I'm introducing the polka as I Went Out Upon the Ice for us to play on our low and high D whistles. The tune goes by a few other names, but As I Went Out Upon the Ice seems to be about the most popular I've noticed, and also there are lyrics to go with As I Went Out Upon the Ice that seem pretty old and out. We'll talk about that at the end. We'll follow our usual format. The tune has an A and a B part. I'll stand and walk us through the phrases of the A and the B. You can see my hands and we can get a sense of the tune. Then in the play along with Scott section, I'll play the tune at just a steady, moderate pace so that you could play along with me. I'll put a link at the top of the notes to this video so that you could access the page of my website from which to download the music and tabs for this polka. We'll talk about any challenges you might experience, some ornamentation and expression ideas, and a bit of the history of the tune that we know, and it's really good fun. So, wait, let me jump right in to the A part. That repeats, and I'm not going to play the repeat. I'm just right now going to walk through each phrase, and I won't play it in polka rhythm really at this moment to just show you the notes. Here are the phrasings of the A part. Okay, that's the A part. And you just listen to that a few times, try and gather the phrasings along with me before we move to the play along with Scott section. And now the B part. And then the second ending of the B part, if you're just playing this through once, just close the tune down. Or if you're transitioning to like another polka or slide, and we are going to chat soon about crafting a playlist, but if you're transitioning to another tune, then you're going to want to create a walk-in phrase, which might be similar to what you just played to go back to the repeat. So, I'll now play the play along with Scott section for us. And so in the play along section, I will play the tune at a moderate pace. As a polka, you tend to want to get carried away even as we're just learning the tune. So it's important to stay steady and get the core of the tune before you start just messing around and having fun. As I went out upon the ice. fun polka, but you're going to play it as a polka. So thinking about some of the challenges you might experience, work on the core of the tune, get the core of the tune, and before you start trying to get it up to that polka rhythm pace, because it can be pretty quick and supposed to be fun, and you don't want to get stressed out trying to bounce around figuring out how to play it. So get the core down. Now you'll notice that the core of the tune as I'm presenting it, and you could download the music in tabs, is slightly different than maybe you hear. And there are just so many different settings, and some of that is because of the way these old tunes get transcribed and passed on. People start playing it, some of the ornamentation gets recorded, or somebody singing it, and the way they sing it is transcribed, and so there's not much running up and down in it, and so there's a lot of variation there. You are going to have to play in that B part. You're going to have to go up to the second octave B. And so, again, and like one of my soapboxes, make sure you have a whistle that enables you to play up there without stress. But that takes time. That takes time to learn. So, pace. No other real huge challenges, because a lot of the flow of the tune is up and down, and it seems to naturally progress, but you have to be used to it. So take your time and learn that. As we're thinking about ornamentation and expression, a lot is dependent on the pace and a lot of transitional ornaments and rolls, taps and cuts you want to throw in. Just at that, just a little faster than that, and put some fun bouncy dancy ornaments in. And I'm going to share a couple of things for you to hear, and I'm not going to share much ornamentation right now, other than saying I want you to experiment with it. Get yourself to the point where you can play the tune, start messing around, but don't mess around until you've listened to some people play it, and then get a feel for what they've done, get a feel for what you could do. And I'll share at least a link to something I found really interesting on that. So thinking through the history of this polka, again, it's an old dance tune, and a lot of old dance tunes have stories with them. So remember, polkas came to Ireland in around 1840, so it's not older than that. However, there are transcriptions and records of this tune right around the middle of the 19th century. So that means this is a pretty early polka, based on when they came to Ireland. And more rising out of that southwest region. We've had a few tunes lately that come out of that area. And so one interesting thing, I found a page that I'm going to share the link to that includes the full set of lyrics that apparently are quite old. And they picked up their information from the online Clare County Library, but added another musical link that I think is kind of fun. And so I'm not going to link to the Clare Library, but I am going to link to the other page. And I think from the history of it, it's just it's a fun story. And so it's a whole list of tunes. And As I Went Out Upon the Ice is the first one. And so it's kind of funny. It tells a story about this guy and how, he was trying to follow some of the local fashions. And so he got himself this fancy dance coat. A taglione, did I pronounce that correctly? So he wants this, he's wearing it, and then he wants to become a master skater. And so he buys some skates, and he goes out upon the ice, and the ice is a little rough, and he falls in. And when he gets out, and he got his new dance coat wet, and so he gets out, and there's a young lady tries to help him, and so the story progresses. Please take some time to read the lyrics because it's fun. And at the bottom of that are a couple of music bits there. One of them is of Molly Myers Murphy playing As I Went Out Upon the Ice on a fiddle, and then another link of Dennis Murphy singing, which actually they have on the Clare County site. So anyway, it's kind of fun. I'll add that link. Please check it out. It's a blast. Read through the lyrics. You'll find yourself chuckling. Please enjoy this polka. Work on the core of the tune. Then start working on the pace and the ornamentation. If this is fun, helpful, please like the video that promotes us on YouTube. And if you've played this tune and you have some favorite versions, let us know. That's kind of fun. How do you like to play it? And I don't know. If you're brand new and checking us out, please subscribe. We'd love to welcome you into our wonderful community. Folks, learning the low whistle primarily, and also doing a lot of high whistle stuff too. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling, my friends.